Salutations everyone, this is Razor giving you guys my analysis of CEO 2016 for Smash 4. Boy, what a tournament. It feels like nothing is real. Everyone's bracket died before Pools was halfway over. That was just how crazy the upsets and the amount that we had in this game. Not many people saw it coming. Apparently Ally did. He tweeted out that we were going to expect a lot of upsets in this tournament. And he was right, because holy crap. We had Team Allied, we had Team Zero, we had a stacked tournament, Dabuz is there, Antai's there, Abadongo, Umeki, Saj, we had all the heavy hitters. I'd say out of the top 20 players in the world, we had like 17 of them. So it was crazy. And losers in this tournament was a dumpster fire. Nobody wanted to be in losers because it was a scary place. What if I told you we had a tournament where Zero doesn't finish top 8, where Ally doesn't finish top 32, where Nairo doesn't finish top 16, where Trella doesn't finish top 380. It was crazy. It was an absolute massacre. But I think this tournament was a perfect example of Smash 4, what it has to offer, how balanced the game is, and how many fantastic players we have out in this game. It was a counterpick war, this tournament. You take a look at top 8, only 3 people solo mained. Zenodo's Diddy, Mr. Arshik, and Hyuga's Toon Link. Everyone else had a secondary or a tertiary, or in Antai's case, a quad, I don't even know what the word is for a 4th main. And he's the one who won it. The guy who had all the counter picks. It was insane. And it also showed the dominance and prevalence of Diddy Kong. Diddy had the most top 50 finishes, top 16 finishes, and top 8 finishes. JJ Rockets at 49th, J-Tails 33rd, Dyers 19th, C3PO 17th, Neotono 13th, Zero 9th, and Antai busted out a little bit of Diddy as well, and he won, even though he lost when he went with that Diddy Ditto with Zenodo. So who won this tournament? Your boy Antai, with the Mario, the Diddy, the Cloud, and the Meta Knight, beating Zenodo in grand finals on the reset bracket 0-3, 3-1. Zenodo with the Diddy, Dabuz coming in 3rd, busting out more Olimar than we've seen, but we have seen him bust out more Olimar more often to show that he has polished the Olimar a bit, and it isn't a case where he goes to the backup and then loses, as we've seen in the past. Abadongo with 4th place, the Mewtwo, the Meta Knight, and pulled out the Pac-Man. Much like with Dabuz's Olimar, we haven't seen a lot of recent success with that Pocket Pac-Man, even though we know that he still has the tech. 5th place, Mr. R, along with Hyuga, and then 7th, Larry Lurr and False. False, I think, being the biggest surprise out of that top 8, especially when you see who else was in 16, 32, and who never even made it to top 32. Zero 9th, Void 9th, Saj 9th, Nakat 9th, and 13th, Wrath, Fallen, Neotono, and Scat. So looking at the tail of the tapes, let's go to our boy Antai, the tournament winner. 2 1s Nick Riddle, 2 0s Void, 3 0s False, 3 0s Mr. R, and then a crazy close clutch set against Dabuz, goes 3-2 to send Dabuz to losers, pulling out the Meta Knight. And then in grand finals, he lost 0-3 to Zenodo to reset the bracket, and then he lost the first game. It looked like Zenodo was going to 6-0 this man, and it didn't look pretty. But then he pulls out the Cloud, and then he wins 3-1. Antai, your winner. The man who mains the character select screen won a major, establishing that everything we know about him and everything that people say about him is absolutely true. He is a beast. He is a top 10 player of this game, and it showed in a stacked tournament against a lot of strong players, and having trouble in many cases, but pulling it out in the end when it counted. And out of everybody in this tournament, in top 2, maybe some people had Antai, but I don't think anybody had our boy Zenodo, finishing not only in 2nd, finishing not only at the top Diddy Kong, but in 2nd place. 2-0 Z, 2-0 Nairo, 3-2's Larry Lurr, 2-3's Dabuz gets sent to losers by Dabuz in a close set. Looks like he might have been able to clutch it out there, but Dabuz had him. Then he goes to losers, 3-1's Hyuga pretty convincingly, and then has a really close set against Abadango, who we saw switch to the Pac-Man at the end, and Zenodo won that set 3-2. Then Zenodo gets the rematch against Dabuz in losers finals and 3-1s him, and then goes on to grand finals against Anti with a 3-0, 1-3 loss. Nothing to frown about there. Zenodo, clearly a top player in the game. Then we have Dabuz's run, 2-0's Ling Ling, 2-0's Esam, 3-1's Abadango. He pulled out the Olimar, and like I said, usually when we see Dabuz go off of Rosalina and go to Olimar, he usually maybe starts off with a good first stock, but ends up getting bodied. But not so much in this case. Dabuz showing that, his Olimar is stronger than we've ever seen before. Then he goes to 3-2 Zenodo, loses a close set against Anti, 2-3. Anti pulled out the Mario and the Meta Knight. And then he gets eliminated in losers finals against Zenodo, 1-3 on that revenge run back. Then we have our boy Abadango, who a lot of people might have seen in top 8, be like, alright, maybe he's going to be in top 2. Takes out Pink Fresh 2-0, the Reflex Wonder 2-0, then he loses to Dabuz 1-3, and then on the loser side of things, beats Void 3-2 in a close set, beats Larry Lurr 3-1 in a surprisingly not all that close set, and then he beats Mr. R 3-1, and then loses to Zenodo 2-3. But of course, this was a tournament of upsets, throwing wrenches, and burning everybody's bracket. Early on, we had Prince Ramen with a 2-0 over Zero. Then Larry Lurr 3-0 Zero, knocking him out of top 8 for the first time ever. We didn't see Zero in grand finals, which was a weird thing. But it goes to show Zero is mortal and is not guaranteed for grand finals anymore. He is no longer, I think, on his own tier list, as they would say. Also, we have Zenyu with a 2-0 victory over Ally with his Mario. I couldn't even find who sent Ally to losers. I think it was a Corrin, but I can't even find it because it happened so early in pools. So Ally finishes 49th. That might have been the biggest surprise, even though we saw Jade pull out that 2-1 victory against Trella in pools. So Trella finishes 385th. Jade with that Bowser Jr. with that Mecha Koopa tech put everybody on notice, and Tweak definitely noticed because he said, after only going with Cloud for the past few tournaments, that he's going to be revisiting Bowser Jr. And I think Jade showed him why, because she's got all the tech. And then we have another upset, Hyuga 2-1 over Nairo. Nairo to the disappointing 17th place. So like I said, this tournament definitely showed the landscape of Smash, on how even things are with the characters. We saw Palutenas, we saw Olimars, we saw Mewtwo, we saw characters that we don't see. Toon Link's in top 8 in such a stacked tournament. Top 5 players going out in pools, or not even making it in a top 16 or top 8. Unprecedented things happening. And Larry, what a fantastic way to beat Zero 3-0. What is so impressive with Larry over his last 6 victories, or maybe even his last 8 victories against Zero, he has killed him in each individual stock a different time, every single time, except he twice now he's fared to Footstool for the win. We saw baiting air dodges to back airs. We saw a Shine Spike. We saw the Firefox killing off the top on that mix-up, catching that air dodge on the up air read. It's fantastic. And then you getting ledge trumps with back air, up air strings, of course. But the dude's always switching it up and found a different way to kill Zero in every single stock and every single tournament, which makes him a dangerous fucking player. But of course, Zenodo has to get props for finishing in 2nd place, establishing himself not only as, if we're still assuming Zero is the best Diddy, Zanotto is easily the second best. But with this kind of action that Zanotto has to, call that into question at the very least. 3-2ing Larry and, losing to Dabuz, but getting his revenge. It was crazy. And then, of course, we also have to give props to Abadango. With the switches of the characters was the storyline, I think, of this tournament. We did see prevalence of Diddy Kong, getting a lot of top finishes and the most character that we saw in top 20. Having 6 Diddy players in top 20. Most of them mains, actually all of them were Diddy mains, with the exception of Anti, who tried to pull the Diddy Ditto against Zanotto. It didn't work out too well. It looked like it was going to, but then not so much. And then outside of top 20, we had J-Tails and JJ Rockets representing Diddy as well. So Diddy Kong is the character that everybody needs to watch out for. But not only do we have to watch out for Diddy, but we also have to watch out for all of these people that we see upsets, and I think we're going to continue to see crazy upsets against unknowns or people that we don't see in top 16 almost at all outside of regionals, and characters that we never see in top 32s. Like we got to see Palutena beat Zero with safe options, punishing every opportunity on landing that Zero had, as well as getting that early kill on the first stock in the first game at 66% on that up air read. And I think we have to, ask ourselves, where's the next upset going to come from? I think you have to watch out for any Sonic player, especially after seeing what Supergirl Kells did to Mewtwo King at Apex and what we saw Wrath do in this tournament. Gotta watch out for Scat with that Mega Man. People need to learn all of these matchups, like almost every character in the game, because of these specialty players that are catching people off guard because all they know is, the matchups against maybe 10 or 8 characters. Maybe they don't know the Mega Man matchup and Scat is going to pull off a huge upset. Maybe they don't know the Robin matchup and Dath gets the next big upset. Maybe they don't know the Wario matchup and the Reflex Wonder gets the next big upset. Or Angbad with his Olimar. Or I'll even name a player that wasn't even in CEO. I'm Hip with his Olimar, or possibly even Duck Hunt. I wouldn't surprise if we saw him take out a top 16 player in the world in the next tournament. So there's definitely a lot of future upsets that we are going to be seeing because of how balanced this game is and how everybody has gotten better. And that has shown that Zero isn't in his own tier, and the fact that anybody can lose. Nairo can get knocked out early, Ally can get knocked out early, and we have to learn all of these counter picks with all these other characters. We're going to see so many people not only just picking up Pocket Clouds, of which case we only saw one person who even touched Cloud in top 8, and that was Anti, and he didn't pull out until set 2 of Grand Finals, but it did get him the victory. So we also saw Mario's as well as Cloud's establish the doubles game, where we saw M2K and Ally win over Anti and Larry, with Nairo and Zero getting third, with Nairo electing to go Cloud the vast majority of the time. But Mario's were the biggest factor in that doubles, with Ally going Mario the entire way, same with Anti and even Larry going with Mario for the double Mario team. Anti with those amazing flood edgeguard setups and up smashes. As such a character that can kill in so many different ways, Mario has established himself as a doubles character that is absolutely on the same tier as Cloud. So let's take a look at whose stock went up and whose stock went down in this tournament. Obviously, Anti and Zanotto. We finally got to see Anti win a major after not being in grand finals in a major. I do believe he has never even been in a grand finals in a major, and he won this one, but it wasn't easy. Zanotto showing that out of all these plethora of Diddy Kongs, he was the best this weekend. Also, stock going up is Hyuga. Bomb Fair, baby. It kills everybody, and everybody has to watch out for it. And also False. The biggest surprise, I think, in top 8, when you take a look at who didn't make top 8 in this. And whose stock goes down in this tournament, you have to say Zero, because after finishing first or second in every tournament in the last 100 years, or at least in Smash 4. He didn't finish not only in top 2, but didn't finish in top 8, so you have to knock him down a peg. Nairo also upsetting 17th place finish. I think we also have to knock Mars down a peg. Most people saying as the second best Zero Suit in the world, but definitely a disappointing finish. And you kind of have to knock down Ally with his 49th place finish. You might be able to say, does Scat go up? But, he didn't really beat somebody that was like a big upset. Maybe you're wondering about Mewtwo King. He had to drop out after getting sent to losers. I don't even know who sent him to losers. I couldn't even find out. But he dropped out. It was a death of a loved one, and that was really getting to him. And Wii U singles was the first thing he had to deal with, but he did win Wii U doubles. He won Melee doubles and was second in Melee. But those were later on in the weekend. So that's what we have it. That is the climate of Smash 4. I'm not just saying that almost anybody can beat almost anybody. I'm saying almost anybody can beat anybody. Nobody is safe. As we've seen, nobody is safe. We might see more consistency, maybe from Abadongo and Dabuz, but when it comes to who gets to be in grand finals, who's consistently in top 8, who's going to be on winner's side of things on more often than not, who's upset proof, you can't say anybody's safe because this game is balanced and everybody's getting better, regardless of the character. And counter picks is the climate. People need a secondary or a tertiary, or in Antai's case, 7 characters. As many as it takes to win a tournament. And Antai showed he had as many as it took.
Anti, it's the fucking anti. Listen to the anti. Put your fucking hands high. Anti, it's the fucking anti. Listen to the